And gentlemen, again, pay attention. It's gonna be interesting, but just pay attention. All right. So first off, before I pull over Premiere, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and back there for y'all. What you'll have? Are we listening? Are we listening? All right. So back there for y'all, what you'll have is your AVTF folder. All right. So again, it'll be on the desktop, but for me, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a folder on here. So good. I'm gonna go up to new folder and I'm gonna create that. So this first one, I'm gonna call this my project folder. All right. All right, so I just typed in Black History Project, so that's good. So then next up, so again, this is my project folder. All right, so there's three folders that I'm gonna put inside every project. So for every project, what's the first folder that we should make content? All right, what's the name of the next folder? What'd you say? Exports. Exports. Good, and last but not least, the last folder is what? What'd you say? Say it loud and proud. Project files. All right, so there we go. I got my files and everything, and next I need some media. So I already have some that I've already downloaded that I'm gonna bring over here to put in my content folder. All right, so as I'm navigating to one of my previous folders that I've created, good, I'm gonna just snatch some files out of here. So I'm gonna copy and paste those by pressing Command C, and then as I go in this content folder, I'm gonna press Command V. All right, so here we go. All right, so now we have Premiere. All right, so I'm gonna move everything else out of the way. And again, I would encourage you to focus. All right, the word of the day is sacrifice. This may not be the most interesting thing in the world right now, but it will help you. All right, so over here, we got Premiere Pro. That's popped up. I'm gonna click on New Project. All right, and so then this screen comes up. It may look a little different on some of the updated versions. And again, if you need help with that back there, I can help you if you're ready for this. All right, so even though it has the project name right here, I'm gonna click on Browse first because I need to set up my project files folder. All right, so I just clicked browse, and it goes back to the last project that I created. You notice it's a project files folder, but it says it's a different Black History project. All right, but this project file right here, the reason why I'm gonna I'm gonna make sure that my new project files folder is saved right here, or is located right here, is because this project file opens up the project. That way, nobody can say that they didn't, that theirs was deleted or anything like that, because it'll be right there. But if you don't do that, my previous class was my 3A class, and so on the folders back there, it's gonna be in the 3A folder, which you won't be able to find and you won't think about. All right. So right here, as you can see, if I pull it over, so if I go to my project files folder at this current moment, let me see, I'm gonna go back to the right one that I just created. And at this current moment, this project files folder is empty. There's nothing in it. But after I set this up, it's gonna have a project file in it that I can open. All right. Again, if you don't follow this step, it won't be today, but on on Wednesday or Thursday, you're gonna come back and it's not gonna be in the recents, and you're gonna say somebody deleted it, and it's just that you didn't save it in the right place. All right. So the easiest way to do it is, since I have my project files folder right here, I'm gonna drag it and drop it right here, and then it automatically locates it. All right. So I'm gonna click on choose, and I'm gonna name this Fannie Lou Hamer. That's the person that I'm doing mine on. And then after that name, I'm gonna put my name as well. So I'll put Mr. Daniels. But also for this, and actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something a little different. So with this, I'm gonna have all of y'all do one project. for that everybody is gonna work out of if you have a larger group. So with this, I could put the black group. I'm gonna use that as an example. And then I'm gonna put an underscore and then put Black History Project. And then I can also put the class period. So this one is 4B. There we go. So after that, I'm gonna press OK. Good, and so that's loading. And so now looking at this project files folder that was once empty, now it has the what? The project file. That's right. Thank you for listening, Mr. Marie. All right, so next up, I'm in Premiere. We're going to do this quickly to load everything, and then we're going to get to the keyframing. All right, so first up right here, I'm going to go to my editing workspace, and so this is what it should look like for you. This is what it should look like for you. So first off, I'm going to go back to my project. And this is called importing when I drag my content folder from here to my project panel right here. I hope everybody saw that, right? So again, I'm going to import my content folder into my project. So I'm going to do that by dragging and dropping this content folder into my project panel. Okay? So just by doing that, all of a sudden this pops up down here. All right, so I just imported my pictures, which are my files, at least for this. All right, and with this, you can have like all of your files in there if you want, but that's there. So now, after I've done that, I'm going to click on this little folder down here that's called a bin, and I'm going to name this next bin sequences, because for each person, in order for this to work, you're going to need one sequence a piece. Right? Which what do you do in a sequence? It doesn't deal with uploading, but this action starts with an E. The word for it starts with an E, which is the essence of what you do in Premiere Pro. You what? Edit, right? So again, you edit in sequences. All right, so I have my sequences been highlighted. I'm going up to File, going over to New, and then I'm gonna make a new sequence, so I can click on Sequence. A shorter way of doing that is I can hold down I can hold down Command and press the letter N, and that'll bring this screen up as well. So here, what I'm gonna do, since this is my sequence, I'm gonna put the name of my person, and then after that, I'm gonna put my name. All right. So with that said, here we go. There we go. So my person is Fannie Lou Hamer. So I have her name, I have an underscore, and I have Mr. Daniels. All right. The reason why I'm doing that is because I want everybody I want it to be distinguishable or very clear that this is my sequence. And of course, I can edit my work in here. Right. So then next up, my other member in my group is Chase. Right. So he's doing his on Martin Luther King. Right. So I would put in MLK. Under that, I would type Chase. Right? So now that's Chase's sequence. So then I also have Mallory. So, and she's doing hers on Harriet Tubman, right? So for hers, we got Harriet underscore Mallory. Boom. All right. So up here, watch this, Chase. So right here, we got these sequences, right? So I got mine, Chase has his, and Mallory has hers. So that way, as y'all work, y'all can do it in steps where the first person does the first part of it, and then everybody else catches up. Then next, the next person does the next step, and everybody catches up. All right. So again, in order to edit as a group without one person monopolizing or taking over it the whole time, we are all going to work in our own what? We're going to work in our own what? What are these called? Starts with an S. Sequences. So we're all going to work in our own sequence. All right. So there we go. So I'm going to start in mine. And this is the money part of it. All right. So this is the keyframe video. So first off, I'm going to start with the title. So right here, these are different tools. I'm going to click on the T. All right. That is the text tool. So I'm going to click on my screen. And as I click on it, I want you to watch what pops up in my timeline. All right, so what and I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, but what happened on my timeline as this little bar goes away? Let me see. There we go. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna zoom in on my timeline, and what popped up right here? A what? Say a little louder. A pink clip, right? So that is a graphic. All right. So on here, I'm gonna type my person's name. There we go. So now I'm going to go over to captions and graphics, and I'm going to go to edit. Over here, I got some alignment tools, and I hope we're all watching, right? All right, so I'm going to click on both of these, and that's going to put it perfectly in the center. And then next up, I'm going to put some keyframes on her name. All right, so what do you think keyframes do? Movement. All right. So keyframes make things move, right? Keyframes make things move. I'm going to say that one more time, Brandon. Keyframes make things what? Move. All right. So on here, the only things that will be moving are text and pictures. All right. So this is how it goes for text. So I have this text, this text right here is highlighted. The clip is, and now I have effect controls up here, right? So up here, I'm going to go to where it says vector graphics. Or it's going to say vector motion right here. I know it's very hard to see in the back, but it's vector motion. All right. So we have a few things to change. You got position and you got scale. Position, it can move something from the left to the right, or it can move it up or down. And scale does what? Scale zooms in and it zooms out. All right, so right here, I'm going to do a short zoom in on this name. All right, so with keyframes, the number one thing, right, Chase? And right, everybody else that's got their eyelids down, that's facing other ways, got their phone out, having a whole conversation about pizza that they're going to get after school. I heard all of that. But anyway, with that said, keyframes and these movements have a start point and an end point. So case in point, if I'm going to zoom in on this text, what it means is that the text is going to start out smaller, and then at the end it's going to get what? Bigger, right? Or also, if I'm doing a tilt, which is going from up to down, whatever text or whatever image, it's going to start at the top, and then it's going to go towards the bottom. All right, so again, start points and end points. Where do you want to start? And I'm going to answer that shortly. Yes, ma'am. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that in a second after I'm done explaining everything. But, yep, I'm going to make it pop up for you, so I wouldn't worry about that part. All right. So with these vector graphics, I'm going to zoom in. So at the scale, which makes it larger or smaller, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off right here, and then I'm going to click on this stopwatch right here. It's going to turn blue. If you don't click that, then you can change it as many times as you want to, but it's not going to save those changes. So right here, this little diamond, and I know it's hard to see for those in the back, but this is called a keyframe. So as I click that, it made the first keyframe. So this keyframe is for the 105 value. All right. So right here, I'm going to drag that at the very beginning. This blue line is called the playhead. So I've already got my start point. So now I'm gonna put in my last point. So I want this to zoom in. So I'm going to increase it to make it larger, and so it's there. And you notice it just created another what? Keyframe. So then from here, this last one, I'm going to drag it at the very end of the clip. This space in between represents time. All right. So case in point with this, if I have this keyframe right here in the middle of this clip, this animation or movement stops right there. Okay. But with this, I want it to go the whole time for the clip. So that's why I have it all the way at the end. All right, and that makes this movement, which actually I didn't mean to do that extra one. But there we go. So then this, it makes this movement, right? So this zooms in like that. All right. So next up, I'm going to do it on pictures. All right. So I'm going to go back to my other workstation, and I'm going to go back to my content, and I'm going to drag over 3 pictures. So for this, you got to have 3 pictures. All right, so I got my first one, I got my second one, and I'm going to drag over my last one. Yep, this one is different, my last one. There we go. So I got this picture, I got that one, and I got that one. So 3 different ones. So off the bat, I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to highlight all of these by clicking in this blank space and dragging over. And there we go. On my keyboard, I'm going to put in a transition that's going to be on all of them. I'm going to hold down Command and press the letter D one time. And these fade transitions went on all of them. All right. So now from here, I'm going to put on these keyframes. And again, it needs to be questions about this because I am recording. So I don't want that to skew the time. So if it's nothing about this and it's about the bathroom, please be strong. And it'll be done soon. So with that said, I'm going to put on these keyframes. So this is my second one. Again, I clicked on it. It's highlighted. And I'm going up to motion. So with this one, I'm going to tilt. All right. So that means that I'm going to have it up and bring it down. So again, think about your start point and your end point. All right. So right here, I'm going to position. And I'm going to move it up like so. All right. And so then I'm going to click on this stopwatch. My keyframe is made. And I'm going to drag that to the front. So now the end point, I have it start up here. I want it to end down here to create that motion. So now I pulled it down here. And it created the other keyframe. So now we have this movement. All right. We have that. All right. So then next up, I'm going to put on some simple stuff for this one. I'm going to make this pan. That's moving it from left to right. So I'm going to move it to my left, click on the stopwatch, and then drag this keyframe to the beginning, move it to my right. That makes the last keyframe, and I'm going to drag that to the end. All right, and then lastly with this one, I'm going to zoom out on this one. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Click the stopwatch and make my keyframe, drag that to the beginning, and then I'm going to zoom out from my last keyframe without having any black bars on the screen. See if I can get it back in. There we go. And I'm going to drag that to the end. All right. So now I've completed it, and we're going to look at the finished product for this keyframe video. All right. So everybody, let's look. All right. Lauren and everybody in the back, let's look. Danye and the crew, everybody, let's look. Right? Everybody, because everybody needs to see this, right? Mr. Francis, yep, wake up your neighbors, right? Here we go, Miss Marshall, let's get off of that phone. All right, so this is the end product of this keyframe video. All right, we got the keyframe. Shh. All right. So this is the end product. What I'm judging it off of and what I want you to learn is how to keyframe. All right. So it is a very basic level of it. But again, all of those keyframes is really pretty much all you'll be doing in this slideshow. So if you do this afterwards, you're going to end up going back to this and just add all your voiceover, your other pictures, and all of that stuff in the correct order. And again, if it's about the bathroom, hold it. Okay, what's up? That's a great question. So this keyframe video is due. It should be today, but I'm gonna probably push it back for most until next Wednesday or Thursday, whichever day that y'all will be back in here. All right. But the overall video is this. So pretty soon we have to have these ready for Black History Month. So realistically, your rough draft would be due. Really, I want it to be due since next Friday is would probably be a little sudden for most. It should be the following Thursday. And again, I'll give you the exact date. There's gonna be some, at least one person I can look at right now that's gonna have it done today. But everybody else, we're gonna have that done by next Friday. I'm sorry, by the following Thursday, since we got a short week next Friday. All right, so that means it's gonna take a lot of discipline from all of y'all. All right, but you can't complete it if you haven't finished these previous assignments. All right, so are there any questions about the keyframe video? And again, this is, I just recorded this, so I'm gonna put this up on YouTube in case you gotta look back at it. Exactly. All right. So with that said, that is that. So again, are there any questions about this? All right. So last but not least, I'm gonna show you one extra example of the finished video, and I want you to listen to the voiceover on this one as well. All right. But this is another example of what you're working towards, and this has a lot of keyframes in it. All right, or at least a lot of keyframed components to it. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna drag this over. Stevie Wonder was an American musician, singer, and songwriter, considered to be one of the most creative musical performers of the 20th century. Blind from birth, he was a child prodigy and became a skilled musician by the age of 8. After signing a contract with Motown Records, he was renamed Little Stevie Wonder and made his recording debut at the age of 12. He made many songs we love and later became famous for making such hits as Superstition, You Are the Sunshine of My Life, Living for the City, and I Wish and Sir Duke. Nowadays, Stevie Wonder is on the road touring, and he has never put the piano or any other instrument down. And this is just a part of the story of Stevie Wonder. All right. So again, those are the key frames that we're all working towards. And again, this is going to teach you that. All right. So again, today, for everybody that's turned in everything else, you'll be working on the key frame video in your groups, alternating with the sequences. For everybody else, you really shouldn't leave this room if you haven't finished everything else. You have to physically show me that you finished everything else, because if you haven't, then you'll just be playing back here. All right, so again, anybody that has the other stuff to finish but before the keyframe video, we need to finish that first, and then we can entertain this idea. All right, but today, if nothing else, you should at least start this keyframe video, and you should finish all of those other assignments. We need to be at 100% in everything. All right, everybody, let's get started.